Alright people, we got a special video here today. I'm going to be streaming the first game on this channel where my rating is above 1700. I've been pushing in the last 1 or 2 days to get there, playing a couple games every day, and current rating should be still 1727. And let me check the leaderboard because some people are getting very close to 1900. Okay, looks like no one, unless they got to 1900 and then fell back down, no one has yet reached 1900. So technically we're still in the running for that, though we'd have to hit 1800 first. And as I queue for a game, I had a few discussion topics I wanted to bring up. So the first was with attacking. Sorry, that was instantly aborted. So anytime you attack someone in 4-player chess, a lot of the mistakes I've been seeing from lower rated players is that they don't realize that attacking someone puts you in a bit of a bad situation, because the person you're attacking can respond to you, and the other people in the game can take advantage of the fact that you're attacking someone to sort of start chipping away at you. So usually the types of attacks that are successful in 4-player chess are the ones that are quick and decisive. So if you can checkmate someone in 1 or 2 moves, that's probably a good choice, probably a good attack to make. If it's like a mate in 5, even if it's a forced mate, it's probably not a good idea to go for it, because even if you get it off, you've lost 5 moves, and that's like, if you're playing 2-player chess and you give your opponent 5 free turns in a row, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll talk about that more as this game goes on, but that's just leading into my discussion of playing this as my opening move. And this is going to be able to so annoying. That move was going to be able to solidify me against blue. I don't know why he's aborting games. That game seemed fine. Like, no super low rated players. He was in the middle. So I am promoting d4 as my most recent strategy that I've been tacking on in the last week or so. And I'll get into why if we ever get a game here. But basically it's just based around the fact that at some point you will have to attack, and at the point in which you attack, okay, obviously we know it's best to attack the player on your right. Sometimes you can't always make that happen, but you do want the player you're not attacking, usually you attack the left or you attack the right. It's hard to attack across. You want the player on the opposite side from which you're attacking to not be able to chip at you while you're attacking. Okay, so it's not going to happen that way every game, but a good opening is to fix the pawn structure in such a way that it's going to be very hard for those people to attack you. Oh, okay. There's a 900 rated player in this game. Okay, instantly aborted. We're getting a lot of aborts here. I didn't expect this at all, honestly. I didn't have this problem prior to being 1700. Some people have been known to abort just when they see a high-rated player, but I guess 1700 is the cutoff when they start thinking people are high-rated then. Alright, and since this is taking a while, for those of you that were interested in the discussion, I will probably leave this part in the video unless it gets too long. Okay, it's fixed. Okay, so this is a group of players that are all relatively low compared to me in rating. And I'm going to try and block it off with yellow in the opening, because I usually tend to castle kingside these days, if I castle. So basically what I'd like to be doing with yellow is, yeah, exactly what he's doing. He's starting to build a fortress against my pawn. If he plays pawn to J11 in the future, that will make me even happier, because we will sort of agree to disagree. It's like the wall between North and South Korea, or the demilitarized zone. We just have mutually decided to not cross that line. And so that leaves both of us free to attack the other player. Now I'm also happy that, since even though red went for this pawn strategy, blue has countered him, so blue is being effective. And yellow is also attacking over here immediately. I'm going to start fianchettoing this bishop, see if I can't look at yellow's rook a bit. I'll probably just fianchetto here and I'll bring the knight out. And the reason you want to make these blocking off moves immediately in the opening is that later in the game, when there's more development and it's getting to that point in the game where you have to respond directly to each threat that's being made upon you, it's hard to make these moves later. So in the beginning of the game, I would say you want to make moves that are important but not urgent. Okay, and red looks like he might actually promote here, which is interesting. Interesting and also a bit frustrating. Not much I can do to slow him down, though, at the moment. This does make me not want to castle quickly. Being next to red, who's going to have an extra queen. Okay, so this is good for everyone. That's not red. Probably not good for blue either, because he's going to get checked here. I'd say that was a pretty big mistake by blue to capture that. Okay, but yellow chooses not to take there. I mean, if I was yellow, I'd probably take that. Sometimes it can be somewhat beneficial to not take it, because perhaps if he took it, blue would just try to all in him, since his position would instantly crumble. But now that red's dark squared bishop has been removed, I feel a bit okay castling. Okay, and yellow's king's also getting weakened through this trade. Okay. So if I want to compete with red, I do need to make a queen as well. So next on the agenda is not necessarily making a queen, but getting my pawns in good positions to promote, should the opportunity arise. I wonder what red's thinking about. Probably thinking about what to do with this queen. Alright. He's pinning this pawn to my bishop. It's probably just a good square to leave his queen because it's protected by the knight, it's attacking blue's pawn, it's attacking my king indirectly, and it's also pinning this pawn to my bishop. So I imagine if I defended the bishop and moved the pawn up, then he would just trade the queen for it in that situation. Okay, but yellow's king is also a bit loose over here. Okay, so it's like yellow's committing rather strongly to an attack against blue. So he has good directionality in that he's attacking the player to his right. Okay, I shouldn't really be fighting with red, but luckily it'll be hard for blue or yellow to capitalize on me because they're both sort of in their own little battle there. Now yellow could trade for this knight to open blue up. I wouldn't recommend it though. He can keep developing instead as well. That move I have no idea about, honestly. Alright, so red took advantage of a situation there. So red's playing well. And it's going to be really tough to deal with that many queens, so I might have to try and kill yellow. Red just has too much material now. I don't see myself promoting because of how many queens he has. I mean, I can probably sack one bishop to get rid of one queen. Take a little bit of pressure off. But I don't want to do that immediately. I'd like to start in a position where should I move this pawn forward and make that sacrifice of points, then I will get some ulterior benefit for it, like being able to promote myself. Okay, looking around, blue is...
Blue, get serious.
Sound microphone muted.
Sorry, that was a TeamSpeak interjection. Looking around, blue and yellow have lost the majority of their armies.
Wake up.
Sorry. Yellow has moved his king to the corner. I'm still trying to make a situation where I can promote. Yeah. I guess yellow's trying to bring this rook here and then up. Like I said, I'm willing to give a bishop for a red's queen, but not immediately. I'd appreciate it if yellow would just let me queen here in peace. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to get to this dark square right here. So if he now pushes this pawn up, I won't be able to queen. Red right now doesn't really have time to stop me from queening. He's dealing with some attacks on his own queens. Time for yellow to decide whether he will let me queen or not. Looks like he will for now. And like I said, I may have to checkmate yellow just to get some points, and then later go deal with red and blue. I have no points at all yet, so not in a good situation. Not very healthy situation. Alright, now comes the decision. Do I immediately trade down one queen with red? I suppose not. Suppose it would be better to have an out to killing yellow at any time. Of course, there's a chance that red will be able to checkmate blue because I left that out. But we'll see. All right. Well, now that I have some now that I have some pieces, I'm gonna work towards another queen. Queens beget queens. If you have one queen extra, it's easier to make more. Much easier to make more. Blue yielding a pawn there. Guess I move this one. You can also try and go for blue. There's too many pieces around there, right? Yellow's controlling this square. Okay, here's something that's pretty important. Red is now threatening a check. And check doesn't sound so bad, except that he's to my left. So I'm going to move first and then explain. Basically, if I allow this check, then yellow could use something like move this pawn up and take my queen in the next move. So you really don't want to allow checks most of the time, from the people on your left anyway. Okay, and he can't take this pawn yet because it's guarded by the bishop. But I will have to bring my queen back because of the check. Okay, and I'm just saying I don't want anyone else to interfere with me. And red, I mean, of course, red can interfere with me because he's the one giving the check anyway. I don't want anyone else to start attacking my queens or anything while red's giving a check. Okay, and he can now give a check, but he will probably hold that check until it's, you know, at its best. Or until it gives him the most benefit from doing so. Okay, so now I think I trade. Okay, since he took with the bishop, that was a mistake. I can now take this knight. And should he take back with the pawn, I'll get a rook. So, red finally starting to make a bit of a mistake there. He should have taken with the queen. Okay, and obviously this fight is not ideal for me. Okay. Fighting the person to my left who happens to be the other person who made the most queens as well. But he did lose his dark squared bishop early on, and that's going to hurt him. Otherwise, he could be attacking me along this diagonal as well now. Okay, he defends the rook, so now I must bring this bishop back. But overall, I'm happy to get the free 3 points. Okay, and it looks like both yellow and blue have not been able to die or kill one another yet. So that's good. Okay, now I'm free to make another queen. Which, whenever you're free to make a queen, do it, man. Okay, yellow moved this knight back. Unless he moves it back again, I shouldn't have any problems here. This pawn I cannot make into a queen yet, fortunately. Now I can start to bully red a bit, and since there's still no one that can attack me in one move, I'm going to do so. Okay, I'm threatening to take this knight as well as trade with this queen, which is his 9-point queen. Okay, so he's yielding another 3 points to me now. And this game is sort of showing that it's not impossible to attack the person to your left. I think when I started this channel and started these videos, I made it sound like it was impossible. And to some extent, my thought has changed on that. And obviously, it's working right now for me. Okay, but it's sort of a situation that has caveats. It will not work in a situation where yellow would also be pressuring my queen side here, or blue would be pressuring me down the center. And I recommend that if you were blue or were yellow in this case, that you would do so. Because I'm the one with a lot of queens and pieces right now. They should really not be attacking one another. course, once you get into one of those fights, it's hard to stop. And they did start attacking one another pretty early. Okay. Right, now I'm going to make a double attack. I'm attacking Red's pawn over here. I'm also attacking Blue's king. And here, if Blue should capture this rook, Yellow may not recapture because I will take this queen. So this was a tactical error by Yellow. Okay. So I think it's definitely possible for me to checkmate Blue. Okay, however, if I directly check and Red moves in as well, Red will get the checkmate points. So that's something to be careful of and thoughtful about. So what I'd like to do is simply check first and ask questions later. As now, if Red comes in, it won't be mate. I'll have one more move to mate. If Yellow checks, it will not be mate either. Okay, however, if I do check here, then I will be losing my natural queen to this bishop, so I have to be thoughtful about that at least. Okay, another thing to think about is that this attack is now incoming on my own king. So I don't mind delaying a bit. Okay, I did sort of want to see what Red was doing with that. And I think if he takes this knight, that's an okay loss for me. But I can always just not take that knight. Okay. I do have to be careful of this pawn now, though. Okay, he can move here. I'll defend with the knight. Okay. So that's really good. Now I wouldn't want to checkmate Blue on this move because then Red would no longer be in check. So I'm simply going to defend against Red's threat. Red will spend one move to get out of check, and then I will checkmate Blue, given that Blue does not defend himself. I could even also attack Red now, probably, since he chose to move there. I have a check. And when I checkmate, Red cannot even... Well, okay, he can give check. He can give check, I would take that, and he could take my queen. That's true. So do I want to check there? Do I want to mate Blue now? Okay, I can't mate Blue now. Yellow has prevented it. However, I can still take this, so I will. Okay. And now with that move, Red has removed his own checkmate threat on me. Or even check threat, rather. It's not actually mate. Once again, Blue is being attacked here. The threat has been renewed. So Blue will have to respond to that. He does. Alright, might have been better to move the rook over if I was giving out suggestions. And now I'm going to move this rook up. I don't want the bishop grabbing it from behind. Okay, blue queens. I'm probably just going to come back and take that, or probably even take with the pawn because it gets me closer. Oh, okay. Never mind. Do have the issue here of this queen hanging now. So I'm going to defend my own queen here and see what blue wants to do with that queen. I could be attacked from multiple angles now, so I have been diddling around a little bit too much with blue. I'm threatening mate in 1 now. And sometimes mate in 1 is too slow, so you got to be careful. Okay, for example, if people really wanted to team, red could take this rook and blue could take this queen right now. Okay, does not choose to do that. Alright, so blue saves his own self by trading queens. So blue's being very scrappy in this game. That was well played. Red is trying to triple up here. Probably a good strategy. I'll move this knight back. What I want to do is when red moves this pawn, I want to directly give check with the rook. Okay. That pawn is unfortunate to lose, but it's not game breaking. Oh, I did actually have checkmate on blue there as well. Could have played. Okay, once again, blue chooses to check red. So I have the choice. Okay, the only problem is blue will just come back and defend if I leave him alive. So it's probably better just to mate blue and then pull all hands back and cover against red. Is that better? Maybe not, actually. Can I abuse red anyway here? Probably. Go here. Now red will have to move that rook back, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, blue threatening to make another queen now. Okay, but I got, if I had checkmated immediately, then a lot of pieces would have been attacking this knight. Now when I checkmate, there's nothing attacking this knight. So it's a much better situation. Okay, of course now this rook cannot immediately go to check blue, which was my original intention. And like I said, I'll have to bring all hands back to cover here. So check, takes, check, I move, and we're okay for the moment. Okay, if this queen and rook had been switched, I would have to take more drastic measures, but I don't. Okay, yellow, I don't know, yellow should be moving. Yellow should be moving up his pawns and stuff. Yellow can even move in and take my rook here. Probably should have moved it farther back. I'm not sure what he's trying to do. Okay, red cannot mate me here. Okay, protecting himself. And these two gray pieces are really annoying. I'd love to throw a check that way right now. Alright, but we've survived the first wave of red now, and I can bring in my other knight to force his hand more. Either take the bishop or move away. Those are his choices. Okay, also getting the knight out of this bishop's diagonal. And I don't know what yellow is doing. It sort of looks like he wants to be checkmated. And I can help arrange that if necessary. Okay, not yet though. Okay. If I had checked there, I would have lost my rook to the bishop. So. And I'm going to check here. And I might be able to get a mate here. I didn't really have time to analyze, but it seems like red cannot get a mate of its own. Okay. So red is going for a few more queens now. Highly tempted to just sack this bishop for the 2 pawns, and I won't have to deal with those 2 pawns becoming queens. I think that's actually a good choice at this stage. I'll have to be a little bit more protective of my king after that. And it's going to be very hard, very, very hard for me to make my own queens at this point. I've given up a few too many pawns. But I can also say that red's king is very loose, so I might be able to just checkmate him here. I can move the queen back with check. Also move the rook back with check. Okay, I do have to watch out for yellow pawns now. And since I've sort of committed to killing red, I'm going to try and do that. And red is the better one to kill as he has more points. Alright, that's a mistake. I can check from behind now and take red's queen. At the very least. At the most, do I have a checkmate? I don't see one just yet. I'm going to take the queen. And then I have checkmate in 1. Okay, red dodges it. Now I should block yellow. Okay, and now red and yellow will probably team against me, which is fine. I think this is sort of a fair time to start teaming. To watch my time. I should have checked yellow there, honestly. Should have checked. Now I can check and take this pawn now. Do I have a mate? It's not. Maybe I should take this one. Again, I don't really want to trade rooks with red. I just want to checkmate him. Alright, but this is the teaming that's starting to come out now, so that was a good move by yellow. Now red will be able to force the trade of rooks. Oh, actually this could get very bad for me. Red takes here, yellow moves here. Okay, he doesn't do that. Alright, that is not good, but not the worst. So I can get rid of yellow's main pawn. Okay, and my compensation for the fact that both of these players are teaming me is the fact that I already have 60 points. So that has to be a boon. Okay. So I need to get out of the way of this. Let's check. I might even be able to get some double checks this game, and if I can double check, that'll put me really in a good position for points. Okay, I can't stop this from queenie anymore, so I won't. Okay, so check here. I'll check here. One problem that I could see arising would be red getting his rook and queen on this file and checkmating now. If we timed out, that'd be really nice, though, honestly. Oh, is that mate? That is mate. Okay. Oops. Use the queen. Oh. Okay. And now I'm in a position where I can just resign. One tiny consideration that's left is I could give yellow a few extra points since he made it to this point. I could get him into second. And you can call this being mean or gaming the system or whatever, but I think the fact that he stayed in the game and didn't just early resign, I should give him a little something. Let him come into second. Alright. And of course that's my choice as the person who, you know, I can either claim a win or I can, you know, checkmate it any way I want, so that's fine. And the thing is, it's always, you know, as a person with a high rating, to show that you're a person of goodwill, even though, of course, you're trying to kill everyone else. It's not good to develop a bad reputation as a player, because then you'll be targeted because of your high rating even more than you normally would be. So it's also part of my own strategy to keep improving my rating. So if that... Okay, so we made it to 1744 now. Not too much of a gain, about 13 points. No, 17 points. I guess not too bad, considering everyone else's rating was about 200 below mine, or 300, depending on the player. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'd like to see your discussion about especially my decision to not checkmate blue so early. I sort of waited for the opportune time, and there were things that red or yellow could have done to stop me, but I had to take into consideration the way they were playing beforehand with all of my decisions as well. So I will end the video there and hope to see you putting forth your comments in this comment section. Bye guys.